So according to Beth Schwartz, we have been getting a plethora of news regarding Arrow Season 7 going into the mid-season premiere, which has given us a lot of hints and a lot of exciting details about what we could be seeing going into this back half, and a lot of it is going to be very exciting for fans. So like I just said, thanks to executive producer and showrunner Beth Schwartz and also the higher-ups at the CW, we have received quite a lot of really exciting information about things we're going to be seeing in the back half of Arrow Season 7, including specific episodes, what 150 is going to be, and also a few other details that really give some exciting details for us fans to chew on. First off, I want to dive into the details we received regarding Arrow Season 7 Episode 12, which is otherwise known as the 150th episode of the show. So obviously 150, that's a big milestone for a show to get to. We saw what Arrow was able to do with its 100th episode back in Season 5, which was a really special episode which brought back characters like Moira and Robert Queen to really show the legacy of the show. And in episode 150, it's going to be doing something very unique and very interesting, which is a documentary. Specifically, a documentary team is going to be following Oliver and Felicity around, detailing what their lives were like as vigilantes and how it was able to change from the Hood to the Arrow to the Green Arrow, and how it was all this transitional period, and how it was able to deal with this life of being a vigilante, how Oliver was able to tackle that, including Felicity, and also there's going to be interviews with members of Team Arrow, so I assume that's going to take place with characters such as Diggle, Renee, Dinah, Curtis. I'm sure all of these characters are going to get roped into this. My biggest question surrounding all of this though is that if people like Renee and Dinah and Curtis are going to get interviewed by this, by this documentary team, then how do they know? Because Renee, Curtis and Dinah have not, and also Diggle, have not been outed as vigilantes. They never were outed. I mean, the FBI know, but they obviously swore to keep their promise. They said we will not, leak this, we would give you immunity, if you helped us take down Diaz at the end of season 6, and that was their promise. They said, we would not out you like Oliver was. So how do this specific documentary team know, and what is this documentary? Like, is this going out to the public of Star City, or is this a bit more of a meta thing? It's really difficult to tell at this point, but I think that's a really exciting detail, just to know that all these different characters are going to be getting interviewed for this documentary style episode of Arrow. Also, given that this is a big milestone episode, could we see old members return, like old team members return? I mean, it has pretty much been confirmed at this point that Willa Holland will be returning as Thea in this episode, and obviously Thea was a member of Oliver's team in season 4, so will we see her come back? Also, there's been a lot of rumours that Joe DeNicole, who played Rory Regan, aka Ragman in season 5, that he will also be returning for this episode, and he was of course a member of the team, so could we see other old members return? I think that could be really exciting, especially I've been waiting for Ragman to return to this show. So if we get Ragman back for this one episode, even if it's just one scene, I think that'd be really awesome. And I think a lot of us have been speculating that Thea would return at some point this season, because, she's not dead. She didn't leave on bad terms or anything like that. She just wanted to leave the show, and she left in a pretty decent way, at a position where she could come back at any point. And I feel like episode 12, this particular episode, is a perfect point to bring her back alongside Ragman. Also, this whole thing is going to be narrated by the wonderful actor Kelsey Grammer. We're getting an A-list Hollywood actor to voice and do the voiceover for this documentary. Will we actually see him? I'm sure we will. I mean, there's no way you're going to get an actor like Kelsey Grammer and not show him on screen, but I feel like the fact that Arrow is able to get Kelsey Grammer is such a big achievement, and it's going to be so exciting to see him in the Arrowverse. Also, it has been confirmed that Jack Clayton will be returning as William in this episode, or Jack Moore will be returning as William in this episode, the young William, who we haven't seen since the beginning of the season. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this. I've been very vocal in the fact that I don't think Jack Moore is a good actor. I don't think he's strong enough to portray this character. Also, the fact that we've been seeing William in the future timeline has been quite a nice thing, because it's been nice to see William all grown up and matured and actually played by a good actor in the form of Ben Lewis. So I don't know if bringing back the young William is a good idea. I was kind of hoping that we were done with him. I was kind of hoping that, he was sent off to boarding school and that was it, especially because in the future timeline we've seen that, William has not seen Oliver and Felicity for a very long time. So that led me to believe that from this point on we were never going to see him again. But I guess we are. But I mean, it depends on how big of his role is going to be. Like, I assume if he's in boarding school, he's just like showing up, and visiting them, and he will go back after this one episode. I hope that's the case, because to be honest, the less William in the present, the better. Speaking of the flash forwards though, it has also been confirmed that we are going to be getting an entirety flash forward episode. So at some point in the future in this season, I think they said it was episode 16, is going to be an entire flash forward episode. So the entire episode is going to take place in the future, which I think is really exciting. At this point, I think the future timeline is the most interesting part of the show. Obviously, we had loads of interesting stuff going on in the first half with the prison and with the new Green Arrow, who has now been revealed to be Emiko Queen. I think the most interesting thing going forward now is the future timeline. So we're going to be getting an entire episode surrounding that. Obviously, we're going to be following what's going on with Roy and William, Dinah in the future. We know we're getting introduced to Renee, I believe in the mid-season premiere in the future. We also have the Maya character played by Catherine McNamara. So we've got so much stuff to cover in this future storyline. Having a whole episode surrounding that, I think, is a good choice. And we've seen this kind of thing before with the flashbacks. We've seen a couple episodes that are completely taken back in the past. So I feel like this is a completely viable thing to do. We've done this before, so I feel like to do that with the flash forwards, especially because they've been so integral to this season, it's going to be an important thing to see, and I'm personally very excited to see that. And finally, it's been confirmed that we are going to be seeing a Birds of Prey episode this season. If you don't know what the Birds of Prey are, the Birds of Prey are a team in the comics which are led by Black Canary, and also features Huntress and also a couple other famous DC heroines. And this is so exciting. I think a lot of us Arrow fans, especially us fans of Laurel, have been really waiting for the Birds of Prey to become a thing and for the Black Canary to really become a truly well-established character in this show, because it's always been a bit of a shaky one, the Black Canary moving from Sarah to Laurel to Dinah and potentially now Black Siren. It's been a bit of an interesting one. So it appears that Laurel, Earth 2 Laurel, Black Siren, is going to be leading this Birds of Prey team, and that is so exciting. It's finally getting Laurel, especially this version of Laurel, to the eventual Black Canary mantle we've all been waiting for. Now, who could be joining this team? Well, as I mentioned, Huntress is a member of the team, and it's been heavily rumoured for a while that Huntress would be returning at some point. People were saying last season, but now it could be this season. If they're doing a Birds of Prey episode, in my opinion, there's no better place to reintroduce Huntress than this episode. And also you could have other characters. I mean, I really hope they don't do this, but I could see them dragging Felicity in some way, hopefully just as a tech producer, because I really don't want to do that. But in terms of other members, like, who do you think could join? Make sure you let me know your thoughts. Who do you think could join Laurel, Huntress? Who do you think could join this team of the Birds of Prey when we finally get this episode later on in the season? Overall, though, all this information just gets me so excited going into the back half of Season 7. I mean, I was already so excited, obviously. Season 7 has been absolutely phenomenal thus far, and I think it's been truly one of the greatest seasons of Arrow. And honestly, if it continues this way, I genuinely believe we may have the best season of Arrow on our hands right here with Season 7. And all of these different things are just getting me so excited. The entirety Flash Forward episode, dealing with the Birds of Prey, and this 150th episode, which is looking to be incredibly special, just like the 100th episode was. I feel like the Arrow is going to just do so well this season going into the back half, and it's really going to prove that Arrow is once again a show that is worth watching. And all of this information is just so exciting. And what do you guys think about it? Are you excited about all this information? What do you think about Arrow going into the back half? Make sure you let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and share DC Central around with any other DC fans who you think may enjoy this content. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. And I hope to see you guys again next time on DC Central.